Hi everyone, Darko here for your weekly PMA for Thursday, the 11th of July 2024. I will also share this video as my weekly trade example for the week ending for Friday, the 12th of July 2024. So obviously this will be also put in YouTube for our followers on social media, because I want to, from time to time, I want to share what I'm sharing with my paying clients, also with the followers on social media. So now for those who are following us on social media, I'm not yet a paying member, so you have a deeper insight of what I'm providing for my paying clients. Super important. Okay, so this is like, we won't be cutting any part of the PMAs, so I will put this on the entire PMA that I'm providing for my paying clients on social media. I do that from time to time. Okay, so let's get started. I have several questions. I will cover those in order they came in. So let's cover the Forex pairs first, those who got filled. By the way, I had a question about, hey, do we have any data feed provider that have smooth necklines, that there's no gaps? Uanda is the only data feed provider that has smoother necklines than other data feed providers. So Uanda is the best option. Okay, so those are perfectly fine. And I have noticed, just like, they haven't have like super smooth necklines until previous weekend. So from previous weekend they have some gaps. I'm not sure why they have that. They usually don't have those gaps. And I'm very aware that the price could diverge from Friday to Sunday, which is completely normal, but this data feed provider usually fix those gaps by making those smoother necklines. So for us who is within Coach's Corner membership, we understand what that means. So because price is never perfectly closing and opening at the same level, so that's completely normal. So we don't have any tons of question about that. Hey, you guys, you don't know that price is gapping over the weekend? Yes, we know. So Uanda is the only option. So I have answered that question. Let me just mark that check. Okay, then let's go through the pairs that we that we got filled on. Cats we see. This was a pending order for the reason I mentioned in my previous PMA. So if you took the 618 fib entry, you got filled, right? And if you waited for that resistance entry, if I take my ruler from the entry down to the highest level is 5 pips. So we front run our order by 5 pips. So I think both options should have got filled. And right now there is not much going on. This is the stop loss that we are using, the natural stop. Obviously we are front running. I had a question about front running. We always, like every pending order that I'm showing you, these numbers that you see as my, in this case, resistance, and the natural stop, which is this number. If you just mark it on your trading platform, if you use TradingView and Uanda, we should have the exact same levels. So that number plus 25 pips. So that is the front running that we are using. Okay. So once we get filled, I always cover the trade management, but right now we just, like, as I'm speaking, we got filled, right? So there is price is not moving either against us or with us. So once price drops, then we will be covering the trade management part of it and take it from there. Okay, so yeah, so this will be considered as filled. And then I had a question, or not a question, more like, hey Darko, I took option number 1, and for those who are on social media, we have 2 options, option number 1 and option number 2, which is explained within the paid membership. Some clients took option number 1. Well, no worries, you took option number 1 and this is your stop loss, and price is going in your favor right now. And then if this is heading back, I don't think there's anything to worry about. So if you took something off and you reduce risk, there is a chance that you will end up break even. Nothing wrong with that. But if price drops more significantly, then we will be covering the trade management part, like, hey, where is to take profit? You always start with the higher time frame. Okay, so this monthly neckline is also weekly neckline, and I don't see any like super threats to this pair. I see this level which price is reacting from. We are playing like the the yearly candle action, and we also have did some analysis on the monthly chart. I don't see any clean and clear correction continuation on a monthly time frame, so therefore we use hands-on trade management. So for those who took option number 1, I wouldn't blame you if you took something off risk reducing. Just take a break-even trade. If this happens to breach this high and stop you out, obviously it's 25 pips above this level. I assume that this is dropping more than 25 pips. Yeah, this is dropping double 25 pips. So if you took something off, which I completely understand, because if you look at this level in here, well, this level is a super strong level. So for those who took option number 1, risk you took something off in here, and you are having your stop loss 25 pips above this high. I don't do the calculation for you now, because it just takes time to pause the recording and do that for you. So add 25 pips to this number, and if you get stopped out, it will be a reduced win. For those who are waiting for option number 2, right now there's nothing there. Okay, so that trade management part was covered. Euro Swissy, based on my notes that I wrote in my previous PMA, option number 2 was the only option. I don't see any option number 2 entry as I'm speaking. For those who are, they want to take this anyway as a option number 1, well, this is your entry, and this natural stop is a bit too shallow for my taste, and this is a bit too wide for my taste. If you took option number 1, which was as per the instruction that I gave you in my previous PMA, then I would put my stop loss somewhere in between this natural stop and this natural stop. So if you waited for the steps that I talked about in my previous PMA, option number 2 is not presented. The way it might be presenting itself, price is heading up into this level, which was pre-marked way before price hit that level. Price was heading up, and at our level, price stopped. It's not a coincidence. This is a significant neckline on the weekly chart. Okay, so if this is a great example, like why I wouldn't care about this neckline, but I care a lot about this neckline. The difference is super significant, and that's what I'm teaching you on every PMA, that why is this not good and why is this like 10 times better. Well, for you who are listening to my PMAs on weekly basis, you know exactly why this is a perfect significant neckline, and we completely disregarded this. And price is showing you exactly why this is perfect. So therefore, you need to distinguish the great significant neckline from those who are completely useless. Okay? So how would a potential option number 2 present itself? Well, this could be heading up like this high. This swing will be higher than this swing, and then at some point price will do some structured damage. Once we see this is the option number 2 that I'm talking about for further downside. Okay, and obviously we covered why this is a pending order option number 2 based on the things that I covered in my previous PMA, doing the top-down analysis on a yearly, monthly, weekly, and then we work ourselves down to the the entry time frames and looking for those. I canceled pound CAD. We are hitting this potential resistance. We did not get filled within my pair rules. So I want to have a fresh look for Monday's PMA to see if there is anything we could do for this pair, or at least take any further pending orders for the next coming week. So this trade is cancelled. Kiwi CAD. So let me see here. I covered Euro CAD. Smoother neckline, check. EuroCAD, check. Let's see here. Some traders get caught with ugly slippage on Kiwi. So, what are the rules for? Let me see here. This should be a bit lower here. So, so what are the rules for red flag news? I'm not making this up or anything. Okay, there are red flag news and there are major red flag news, and everything is explained. Just give me one sec to show you that. If you go to the new members quick guide, okay, handling red flag news releases, okay, everything that you should know about red flag news is within this video. So what I do say every single, like before when I did not have this extra video, is be aware of red flag news when you are short-term trading. When you are long-term trading, be aware of red flag news only if price is at or very close to your entry, and the only exceptions we have is if you have a monthly or a weekly candle action in alignment with your underlying bias. Okay, but you might say, but Darko, I have a weekly candle action in alignment with my underlying bias. At the same time, you have a monthly bearish candle action against your bias. So the monthly and the weekly is contradicting. I'm not making this up like, you know, just because this happened to be a potential losing trade, I'm changing my mind. Sure, you could definitely have taken this, disregarding it's a big red flag news, which is diverging from a regular red flag news. And I also mentioned that rate cuts, okay, so rate statements is big red flag news. And I just watched the numbers. The numbers came out as expected, so they must have said something after the rate releases. Usually they have press conferences, and the press conferences are usually 10 times worse than the release itself. Why? Because the release itself is already priced in. But when they have those press conferences, so those are they are talking about the future, and then that's where the movement starts, because then it could be like some heavy movement depending on what they are saying. Okay, so and the next big red flag news is usually non-farm payrolls. Okay, and the FOMC, and you know, all these, there are like a handful of news releases that I would be cautious, regardless of the weekly or the monthly candle action in your favor, especially when the monthly chart is not clearly correcting continuity, like there is no clear continuation correction in here. And if you blindly follow the instruction with a weekly, sure, I'm not taking anything back, or just like, oh no, I'm trying to adjust things just because this just take a losing trade, no worries. In this specific case, price is very close to your entry, and some client asked me, hey Darko, you always talk about being 100% objective, at your entry is objective, but close to your entry is subjective, so what is too close? And that member was completely right. There is no way that I could make my trading 100% objective. There are always some subjectivity involved. Once you are evolving from stage 1 to stage 2, from stage 2 to stage 3, I guarantee you, there are no many guarantees in the financial, but I guarantee you, you will have a feeling for what is close to your entry. Like this is a rate release, and price is here when the rate release get released, so that's like 20 pips away from your entry. Do you think that 20 pips is close to your entry? I would say yes. Like if I ask 100 traders, all 100 of them, they will say that, yeah Darko, 20 pips is, I could consider that close to my entry. But if prices was like up in here and you have like, all of a sudden 80, 100 pips away from your entry, well, no, I wouldn't say that's too close to your entry. Okay, So either way, like, don't worry about anything. Just like more like trying to share my thinking process. Nobody had, breaking any rules or anything. So good questions, good comments. I always appreciate those comments, exchanging ideas. Sometimes I might need to express myself more clear to people, because in my head everything is crystal clear, and it's my job as a coach to communicate my thinking process in an understandable and teachable way. Okay, so if anyone have any questions, that's great. That means I need to express myself like more clearer, so everyone will understand it. And I'm talking in general. I never talk about any specific trader or the one who took this trade or any. No, I'm talking in general. So yes, once you have a weekly candle action within your bias, and there's a regular red flag news, you could take that. And if it's a major red flag news, you do that at your own risk, and you always do everything at your own risk, because this is not an alert service. And this trader ended up break even, so there was no harm done. So I'm not sure. Maybe it was another pair that this trader took, because I don't see any break even. Maybe with a smaller time frame, because this just went through that level, or maybe it was another pair. This was also another Kiwi. This might be the trade that this trader took, because that trader just ended up at break even, so there was no harm done to the trading account. This is another Kiwi pair. This one, let's see, Kiwi CAD, Kiwi dollar. I prefer Kiwi dollar much more than Kiwi CAD. The reason behind it is what I explained in my yearly bias. So this, like I said, this could very well be the lowest point for this pair for the remaining part of the year and many years to come, based on what I explained on my real yearly top down. So this pair, like on a yearly chart, if you compare that to this pair on a yearly chart, that's completely different. That's like, this is looking completely different. I know this high is higher than this high, but this could be heading down like for years to come. Same goes for like every pair. Like we don't know, like this could be like ranging, getting down into this level for like 3 more years. We have no idea. But when this start heading up, that's like the last thing you will see for the next coming years to come. Okay. So therefore, I prefer the Kiwi dollar trade, even though we don't have clear correction continuation on the monthly chart, but there is a higher potential for this pair than the previous pair if you know anything about price action reading, advanced market flow, and the language of the market, a profound understanding. And that's one of the trading circle, like that's number one, reading price. If you don't know how to read price, everything else is just you will just be forever struggling. Let me just show you the trading circle just in 1 sec. And obviously I'm doing my podcast will be released hopefully next week, at some point at the beginning of the next week. So I'm talking about the trading circle. I'm taking two pieces on each episode. So there will be 4 episodes. So part 1 is about obviously these two. I'm starting from 8 to 1. So number 1, advanced market flow, the trend, okay, and higher time frame bias. Those are like number 1. And some people just focus on some of these and they think, hey, I saw a pattern, a perfect pattern. Yeah, well, that's just one piece. So by understanding the price and reading it correctly and work yourself down from 1 to 8, that's where the magic begins. So in this specific case, yeah, sure. By the time price releases, price is, let me see, this seems to be more away than the previous one. If I take it from here to here, 30-40 pips. Well, sure, this is a big red flag news. I would say it's close to your entry. But then again, if I go to my hourly chart, this was when the news released, okay? And then somewhere by the time London opened, Okay, so London opens within this candle, and you always see a reaction from London open. And you might say, but Darko, how do I know price will stop in here? You don't. To be honest with you, like if I see drop like this, these are the only times that I could enter a trade manually is after red flag news releases and after the press conference is over. Okay, and this is where your time within charts, doing this for 18 years, like I have been doing it, and I try to teach that to people who are not doing this for 18 years, because like I said, whatever I learn in 18 years, I can teach you that in 12 months. Okay, so I would say, like, if you want to enter this trade now, like if price retraces back to your entry, take it. Or maybe you enter somewhere in here where everything like is settling down, you know, the New York close, and we are heading into a new session, and price is just like going sideways. No worries, like the trade is still valid. The only time is that don't catch a falling knife, and that is major red flag news. Okay, so yeah, you know, around this level, which is a 618 fib and the support level, a perfect entry. You might be entering within this candle or this candle, so I consider this trade as filled after the news. Okay, so let's go to the next. Hopefully those answer those questions. If not, let me know and we take it from there. There was a question about Bitcoin. Okay, we have covered Bitcoin for the yearly and monthly. Price is in a correction mode on a monthly chart. So if let me do this thinking process with you. Okay, so when it comes to the monthly chart, this high is higher than this high. This is in an uptrend. Okay, price is correcting. Well, if price is correcting on a monthly chart, we need to correct into a monthly level. That's far away from where price is at. I'm not I'm not trading Bitcoin for those who are not within my service. I'm just doing these analysis by request, because we on Thursdays PMA we have, you know, so-called open mic session, like when people just ask me whatever they want, and obviously not open mic, but just like they type their questions in a chat room, whatever question about anything tradable, not only forex, and then I cover those. Okay, so nothing on a monthly. And like I said, then we need to work ourselves down to the next time frame, which is the weekly. And the weekly chart has a very significant neckline here. So until price hits this level, there's like nothing to do. If this goes up from here, so be it. If this goes down from here, well, there are two levels. There are two levels to watch. Okay, this is the first level, and this is the second level. So the first level is closest to price, obviously. Once price gets there, well, I assume that you have a game plan for entering long. Okay, if you mark these two levels and you go to your entry time frame, obviously the entry time frame should be the weekly chart, sorry, the 4-hour chart, because it's 2 time frame below. This is a weekly, 2 time frames below is the 4-hour time frame. Well, price is in an uptrend. Do you have a natural stop? Well, I would say yes, you have a natural stop here that you could take. So if you want to take this as option number 1, sure, this will be your natural stop. And for the second level, there is no natural stop. So you have to take option number 2. There are no other choices. Or you might be waiting for option number 2 for both of them. Okay, so these are the levels to watch. Other than that, I couldn't care less, because these necklines are just complex pullbacking into a level of support. So you have to be patient enough to price to come down into your level. And you might say, but Darko, what if this goes up from here and I miss this trade? Well, like what I say is that you have a rock solid trading system, and price needs to operate within your game plan. If price operates and behaves outside of your trading system, then there is no trade, because there is no trading system that covers every movement in the market. You just need to pick like a tiny piece of all the money that is exchanging around the world. That's like trillion, just like so much money. And you just need to operate, like price needs to behave in a certain way. And that's one of the problems, trading issues, mental blocks that all traders have. at least the struggling traders. Just like they want to have a system that is covering every part of the price action and movement, and they cannot stand like something is moving. Oh geez, I missed this, there must be a better system. No, once I'm waiting like a sniper. Once price behave within my game plan, there is no hesitation. I just pull the trigger. If price behaves like, geez, most of the pairs like went without us, like these super heavy, movement. Well, they didn't behave the way I expect price to behave. I'm not in those trades, and I'm the first one to tell you. Okay? And once you understand this concept, to wait for like a sniper for your rock solid trading system that is proven track record. Obviously, I'm doing this live in front of the entire world since November 2017. And, you see everything in advance. I never show you anything in hindsight, unless it's like a couple of, maybe 2% of the stuff that I'm showing you is hindsight for educational purposes. When I miss a trade, I grab the mic and tell you, hey, I missed this trade. I hope some of you took it. And this is the lesson behind it. So we take that to the next level. So we don't do that again. Okay. So that's what I see on Bitcoin. Nothing else. Clean Spark. I have the same lines as before. Okay. There is an important lesson. Obviously, we know the yearly, the monthly and everything. The monthly is correcting. Like this is a clean correction. This high is higher than this high. We are correcting back into a level of support. This level of support also is identical with the weekly level of support. Okay, and there is an important lesson. Okay, so my lines were here before, right? I think it was this line, or maybe it was, I'm not sure, because I'm not trading. Geez, this trading view is getting so annoying with these boxes. So let's see here. So this is already consumed. Price consumed this level. We went down, okay, and then we went up, and we made a lower low, and then we went up again to the exact same level, and we are building buying pressure, and price is a super ugly correction. This is like the ugliest correction I ever seen in my trading career. Okay, so this level is already consumed. Like if you enter any long with a low stop loss, the next level that is fresh, not consumed, is up in here. So what I want to see in here, like price is heading down into this level. Okay, this is a strong level, and then price if you want to take option number one, well, this is your entry with the low stop loss, and your target will be up in here, and you take 50% of your size, your lot size. Like this is TP1, this is TP2, and obviously by the time you hit TP1, you reduce risk and take out the risk. Now you have a free look, and let's see within weeks, months, whatever that takes, hit this option. Okay, let's see if there is a natural stop on the 4-hour time frame for an option number one entry. Yeah, no, it's the same level. You have a minor level, but this is so close to this one. Like if you take this as option number one, I say this is your stop loss, 25 points, whatever this is, below your stop loss. Okay, and the 25 pips is for Forex. I'm not sure, like, how volatile this pair. You that is trading this Clean Spark knows this pair much better than I do when it comes to the entry and the stop loss front running part of it. I'm just showing you the trading part of it. Other than that, like, geez, like, what do you like? How would you even enter anything in here? So that's my rock solid trading system. This is what I see happening. So if you are not comfortable with this stop loss, then you only have option number 2 to enter. Okay, gold is another, let's start with the yearly is up, monthly. Well, this is gassing out. This is losing momentum. You see that clearly within the shape of the candles that I explain in great detail within these weekly PMAs. So this is gassing out. This is in a continuation mode. So you need to wait for a correction mode to enter a trade. Other than that, you're just like gambling. Okay, so if the monthly chart is like, oh geez, I cannot wait for like 6 months, I totally get it. And I did a good PMA where like you could work yourself down from the yearly chart down to the like 4-hour time frame, like the correction continuation, because just because there is no correction on a monthly, there might be on a weekly, and there is no correction on a weekly, then you go down to the daily. What this looks like, just by looking at it and breaking things down, we are in an uptrend, we all see that. What I do see is happening, this looks like a bullish flagish. Okay, so at some point you will have that breakout. Sorry, it doesn't need to drop this back, but right now we are bullish flagish. Okay, so the trend is up. I would prefer to see a retracement on a weekly chart, but this is like far from where price is at. So we just need to mark the, let me see, where is my second line? This is my second line. So you just need to mark these, the lowest neckline that makes sense and the highest neckline that makes sense, and try to find a place to enter on a long side. I just don't see anything just right here right now. I see this level on a daily chart, which is tradable on an hourly for option number 2 entry. But right now we are just going sideways for a potential upside breakout. Okay, let's see here. Bitcoin check. Just reading my pen and paper, my notes, sorry. This is gold, check. So that's what I see. So if you see a breakout, let me know. If price is correcting down to any of these levels, let me know. Price is obviously correcting down into this level. Actually, I didn't watch this level before. Let's see if there was any pattern around this level on an hourly chart. You do have a pattern now. You didn't have it by the time price went up, because this low is lower than this low and this high is higher than this high. So a pullback, this might provide a complex pullback in here with this stop loss for further upside, because this is a significant neckline on a daily chart. So you need to break things down. So let me just give you some more levels. This is a level that you should be watching. If this is complex pullbacking, then you just have yourself a potential trade. This is the next level that makes sense to me as the rules that I'm explaining within the PMAs. So these are the 2 levels for a potential upside movement, option number 2 entry. Okay, so that's how you need to do things. You break things down into, we went from the yearly to the monthly, from monthly to the weekly, from weekly to the daily, to daily chart, and then mark these levels and go to your entry time frame, which is the hourly chart, and breaking things down into like your bias converted into a pending order. Okay, that's how you do it based on the trading circle that I just showed you. Okay, oil, I had a client asking me about oil. We have covered the yearly chart. The monthly chart is definitely retracing back. Okay, we never took out this APB, advanced pullback, and now this is a strong level. Price is building this is the problem with, like, I wouldn't say it's a buying pressure. It's a buying pressure per definition, but price is also making lower highs. Okay, it would be a different story like if this is a clean uptrend and we hit this level and then we breach this level, but we are doing this. Okay, that's a difference, because you have a clean movement. But this is more like, we made a higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. Is this a potential lower high? Okay, so therefore, then you should ask yourself, like, the way we enter this wedge, is this doing this, or is this doing this? Okay, so in this specific case, you have a strong monthly candle action at a significant neckline. And what do I say every single time? Price usually comes down into this neckline for a potential upside movement when you have a clean correction continuation, which you don't have in this specific case. But this level happens to coincide perfectly with this daily neckline for the reason that I mentioned in my PMAs. It's also the 618 fib that we trade, when it's in alignment with the what we are seeing, obviously there will be lots of stuff for the people outside of Coach's Corner that they might not understand, but all the stuff that I'm mentioning is explained. So my clients understand perfectly what this 618 fib means and what this neckline means, because this is a rotation, okay, and this is the neckline of the rotation. At the same time, it's also the 618 fib. I assume that you are not comfortable with this stop loss, because this seems to be a bit too wide for my taste. But once price gets down into this level, this is a perfect option number 2 entry. Perfect option number 2. Okay, so that's what I see. So good eye, super great. I think your level was a bit higher, about the 50%. I would skip that level. I would just focus either price comes down into this level, because that's what I teach. This is within my system. Than the 50% fib and the confluences that you showed with some levels of support and such that I don't really see. So this is a perfect trade, option number 2 trade entry for your game plan. Hope that makes sense. Thank you so much. I wish you a great weekend, and obviously I want to give a special thanks for our follower on social media. Thank you so much for following us, and make sure that you hit the like button if you like this video, and if you have any questions, type those in the comments and Vic will get back to you at some point. Okay, thank you, wish you a great weekend. I will talk to you on Monday. Cheers.